Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Rachel Interrupted. Today we have a very special guest, our first official guest of the pod. We have our very good friend, unofficial roommate, Frank Castillo. Welcome to the pod, Frank.
Hello, very excited to be here.
Yeah, how many times have you been to Austin this year since we moved?
I think at least 4 or 5.
Yeah. So Frank
Yeah.
stays with us when he comes into town, and it's like we have like a roommate, and
More
we
like
love
a
it.
child.
Yeah.
It is definitely more like a child.
We're giving your wife a break, you know.
Yeah, well, I just have a playmate, you know.
Basically.
Rachel always goes to bed before I do, and now I stay up late,
Play video games. We stayed up till 2:45 the other night playing Helldivers 2.
We were trying to stay up till the
Look
sun
at
came
you
up, but
guys.
that's how far we got.
Yeah, and you also got a perfect place to watch the sun come up.
I do. Do you watch it in there?
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I'll
Do you keep the curtains open?
just a little bit, yeah.
There
But
you
also,
go.
like you said, sometimes I wake up so early, and I'll just put the curtains up. I'll be
Yeah,
chilling.
I'm impressed with Frank's ability to like stay out super late and like, you know, have like a late night meal and then wake up relatively early before we do.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
hear you stirring in there.
It makes me feel better. Like, oh, Frank's up. you
I
know?
always feel bad because it's always just like I always like wake up and then you hear just
No, I like it.
Yeah,
It's
I
like an
hear your-
alarm clock.
I know. I hear your Puffco heating up. It's funny because when Rachel wakes up, I hear the coffee machine turn on. For you, it's your
The coughing machine.
The coughing machine. the bubbles.
It's
Oh,
so
he's brewing up something there.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've known Frank pretty much since I've started comedy, which is 8 years now, and Matt's known Frank
Since
forever.
he started comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since I do you remember when I first came around?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
there
a little
like,
bit of hair left.
you fucking piece of shit.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. Do you remember like anything that specifically that stands out?
I remember when Roast Battle was still in its infancy, like I would say weeks old. I first noticed you because I think you were helping out on that show, right?
Yeah. I was doing the DJ stuff.
You weren't a door guy, were you?
No, I was not a door guy. I was like learning how to do everything, and Moses was pushing them to hire me as a door guy.
Yeah. I could feel that vibe. I remember that the night, and because Real Battle was like trying to be funny and like going like, fuck you, Frank. Fuck.
Yeah.
And he was like being a bull, like a tyrant boss.
Yeah, he was
like
an asshole.
kidding.
Yeah. He was.
But he
not
was
an
like trying to as a joke.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I saw you, and I was like, oh, Rel's bitch.
Yeah.
But no, I knew that you were like your own thing, and you know, like you
I'll
got
take
the job.
Moses's bitch at that time.
Yeah,
more
which
than
was
Rel's
really
bitch.
what was happening.
Yeah.
I remember when I first met Frank, I think I feel as like you've been in my life since forever, but I just remember being so intimidated by you because
Why?
you were a door guy at the Comedy Store and eventually a paid regular. And I just thought like you were such a staple there. And I don't know, I felt,
Well, Frank's the enforcer.
yeah.
Frank's
That's
the guy.
so crazy to me that people think of me like that.
But now that I know you,
That's crazy. Oh my God. You want people to think
well,
that
like
of you.
you and Feng Chao were like the keepers of the store, basically, and like,
yeah.
Because I think a lot of that was that's how it was. They were like that to me, and not like
Who was like that to you?
it wasn't like they weren't like that to me, but it was like it was always repeated to me the lore of like the store, like Tony and you and like all these older upperclassmen would tell me like what the store was and how it should be run, and like to me these were ideals and like rules to live by. And also it's like I didn't go to college, I didn't go to anything. I never had a sense of fraternity at all.
Yeah.
So like. And I also didn't get into places like that. Like I was never really accepted, like not even like accepted. Like I didn't make like a team or anything like that.
Right.
So to finally like, especially when Stuart Thompson talked about it, he was like, oh no, you have to get picked. It's so tough, blah, 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 like all this stuff. So then like, I don't know, like getting in, it meant so much to me because I felt like I did it the right way and how you're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
So then now to be pastor or just to be even like a door guy, like I just didn't like it when people, it felt like disrespect to me.
Right.
And I didn't like that. And I don't know
Well,
if
you
that's
also came at a time when the Comedy Store was changing and there's more people coming.
yeah.
Because in my day, there weren't that many people
yeah.
there. So there wasn't really regulating who was allowed to be here or
Pete
not.
was like that. I know.
Well, yeah, it was all the guy. Look, it's definitely something when you get into a place and it was hard and
Quincy
you're
was
then,
like
you want
that,
to
yeah.
protect that.
Yeah.
But by the time you guys got here, it was like way more flooded.
Yeah.
And you guys were doing that before we were. Like
Yeah.
you were enforcing it before like your elders were enforcing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, better them than me.
Well, because it's also like that's how it should be. And I get so mad now when I go back there and there's like, there's nothing. It drives. Here, we'll go to the trigger quick. There's nothing, and it could be like this at all clubs because I'm like that when I go to a new club. Like Traeger even made fun of me, and who else? Shit. No, not Traeger. No, it was Traeger and fuck, I can't remember. Oh, Rosebud Baker. I went to the New York Comedy Club. They kept the cellar, and they kept trying to get me to sit down in the bench.
Yeah.
And that's where all their
Right.
versions of paid regulars sit. And I go, no, I'm not in like that. I don't want to be disrespectful.
Right.
And they were just like, no, it's not like that anymore. Come sit down. I was like, no, absolutely. And it literally got into me arguing with two comics.
Yeah.
While all these other New York comics are like, what is going on? And I'm like, I can't. And then they're like, oh, is it because you don't want to be a hypocrite because of how me? And yeah, it is. It's a respect thing.
Totally.
So like, there's nothing that blows my mind more than like a young comic who wants to be in and like is like, I deserve to be here. You know what I mean? They walk all the way back in and it's like, no, you don't understand how much of a bad look that is. Like I can fault someone who's like, I didn't know I was supposed to be back here. I got invited. I walked back here. That's fine. There's a magic in walking back somewhere you weren't supposed to be and then
Right.
being like welcomed and being like, you're not supposed to be back here, but you know what? This is magical. We'll let you see what it is, right? And then they get to hang out because that's what happened to me a few times. I would go back there and I'd be allowed to be back there and I would shut the fuck up and just watch and listen to what would become my peers and people that I looked
Yeah.
up to drop knowledge or just game. And then you pick up on things. One of the things that Willie Hunter ever said to me that I always think of is, I remember he was shit-faced. He walks in the back and he goes, sometimes these young comics just don't understand that they just got to shut the fuck up and listen. And it's so,
Yeah. Kevin Christie was like, people come to the Comedy Store on their way there. They're like, I'm going to get there. Everybody's going to love me. They're all going to see how cool I am, how funny I am. I'm going to rise to the top of the ranks of the Comedy Store, and it's all going to happen tonight. And they bring in all the momentum with them, and it's just like, we're at the helm, like, who the fuck is this guy?
But to say the other side of it, I am a hard ass, but at the same time, I will move mountains for people that I think I see. Because that's what is, for me, the store is also one of those places where if you see a young comic or if you see something in someone and you're like, it's free for me to tell everybody this person's funny.
Yeah.
It's free for me to give someone their flowers. It's free for me to just help push someone along, even if it's just a little bit, or being like, hey, that was great. That was a good joke. Like there's no direction in any of this, right? We're all on sailboats going there, but sometimes you could be like, you're sailing correctly. Like, I like the way you're hitting these waters.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because like I hear everybody's like pre-Comedy Store like door guy or whatever story when they're hanging out before they get the job. Because when I got there, I got the job. Yeah. Like I wasn't hanging out that long until they offered me a job. And nobody knew me, just Tommy. So imagine like somebody's like, you hear they hired some new guy? Like what? And it's me. Like I look 12. Yeah. I have acne.
Jay Light and Luke both got hired by Tommy without really having to be
right. And everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
I remember.
And back then you guys still got there and there was young people. There were no young people in 07.
Dudes,
like by like 20 years though. Like 40-year-olds were working the door. Yeah. And they were dicks.
They were mean.
And they acted like I was late to the game. Like comedy's dead. Like you ever see Almost Famous?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah. When Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, he's like this old rock journalist, right? And the young rock journalist meets up with him. He's a fan of his writing. He has a radio show. Kid's just a fan. He wants to meet with this guy who he looks up to him. And the guy, the scene's great because it starts off like you could tell they've been hanging and they've been walking, and he's kind of like mid rant, and he's basically just going like, "Dude, look, I'm sorry, but you missed it. Yeah, like rock is dead. It died in the 70s or it died in the 60s or whatever. Like whatever him like that's how they acted to us. Like the Comedy Store was just embers, like something had burnt down." And it was like at that point, it was up to, like anybody. They didn't care. Those old 40-year-old dudes that worked there, they were just like lost souls that didn't care. Like the young guys that wanted to be comedians, like we cared. And then we kept like finding our own. So like when you would come around, like, it wouldn't have taken long for you because it was like, you get it.
Yeah. That's why I'm mean. No, I'm sure.
That's why you're a complete asshole to everybody that comes in.
That's a crazy tangent. I'm so sorry, Rachel.
Yeah,
no, it's fine. I'm just going to sit here.
Rachel.
Matt explains something every podcast. This was Almost Famous for those who...
It was a movie from 2001.
Yes.
One of the greatest scenes ever. You watched it, right?
Yeah.
So you met my dad.
Yeah.
So we watched that together.
I love him. He calls me Mija.
Yeah, that means my daughter.
Oh, I love when somebody calls me Mijo.
Dude, when my mom called my wife Mija for the first time, I remember she was in the car, she closed the door and she was just like,
I made it.
waited so long. And it was so funny. But so there's a great scene in Almost Famous where they're on the plane and the plane's almost about to crash.
Yeah.
And they all start like confessing their secrets to each other and like just being like making amends to each other, right? And it's like, you know what, I'm sorry, I fucked this person, blah, blah, I didn't even do this to you, dude, blah, blah. And the guy's like, we're going down, light. And then one of the guys in the back just goes, I'm gay! And the second it happens, the plane levels out and the clouds clear up and the door opens up. The pilot's like, we're gonna make it, guys! We're gonna pull through! And then the guy just shuts the door. And I remember me and my dad, we went on a plane once, and my dad hates flying. He's so terrified of flying. He doesn't like turbulence or nothing. And I remember we were on the plane and we started to hit turbulence and I could feel him tense up. And then I remember like I grabbed his hand and then like it started getting a little worse. And then just in the middle of it, he goes, I'm gay!
As a joke?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And dude, I lost my mind. I could not stop laughing.
The guy that like prematurely comes out of the closet from a little turbulence.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. I remember people looked at him and was like, what? Dude, my dad's the kind of guy where like, he will do jokes just for me, like to just make me laugh, and it crushes me every time.
Sorry.
Anyways, it's been a couple weeks since we've podcasted, so there's a lot of things to update people on. Plus, I have questions that people what.
No. I just have a really funny joke about the plane thing.
Go ahead.
Like if the pilot came on, like, hey, we're gonna have a little bit of turbulence, so nobody come out of the closet. We're gonna nothing. All right, back to.
That was not worth interrupting.
Come on, it made Frank laugh.
Anyway, so it's been a couple weeks since we've podcasted, and a lot has happened. My sister, one judge, she was sworn in to be a judge. My little sister. And when I posted pics of us, people thought I had given up comedy to become a judge because we look so much alike.
It is scary sometimes.
But also, if you did that, how impressive. Like, you just dropped comedy and became a judge, like, within, like, a week.
That'd be pretty sick.
But, yeah, people think we're twins, but she is my little sister. And, yeah, she's following in my mom's footsteps to be a judge. And that was really cool to see. My mom put her robe that she wore as a judge on my sister, which was really cool.
Oh my God.
There's like, I think a picture of it. Yeah. Wait, there's a picture if you scroll through.
How long was your mom a judge for?
Like 10 years, I want to say, probably. I don't know if it's in this one. Oh, wait. No, maybe it is.
Is that your parents?
Yeah.
Go back.
Oh, yeah. See them. They all look the same.
That's crazy.
They all look like her dad.
Your dad's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, your dad's like a man. That's
6'5".
crazy.
Yeah. He's a funny guy, though.
If you go to
the
Judge Wolf's if you look at, at the top where we collabed, Rachel Wolfson and click there.
Your brother's also gorgeous.
And if you go to the first page right there, that picture, that's my mom putting on the robe her robe to give to
she
my
retired?
sister.
And that,
well, what happened is she got the OJ case, the robbery case, and then after that, people, she got approached to do her own like court TV style, Judge Judy style show. So she did that for a year, and then she ended up doing that for a year, and then becoming a private mediator, which is basically kind of the same thing, but private. So yeah, that was a really cool trip home and a really cool moment for our family, and I'm really proud of her. And if you see on the right, that's the mayor, the blonde lady. She her husband used to be the mayor of Las Vegas, Oscar Goodman. And so she was introducing the whole family because we all got to stand up and like support my sister. And she's like, and the real talent of the family, Rachel Wolfson.
Yeah.
I was like, you hear that?
You got
my
the
sister
rub.
thought I was gonna grab the microphone from her and like start like.
Thank you.
She was afraid I was gonna do that, but no, I mean, I almost did.
You're like, I would have wore the robe though.
I know. I almost
Remember
did.
when you grabbed the mic at the resort at the
In Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a moment when we were on vacation where the band like took a break and I got up and tried to do Comedia in Espanol, and it
worked as
did
well as
not work.
as well as I would if I tried to speak Spanish.
Imagine you just there's a live mic and there's people sitting waiting for the band to go on, and Rachel walks up and starts riffing.
I'm like, hello. So yeah, that was
And the whole family stopped and watched for a little bit.
Yeah, I killed it in Mexico.
Yeah, all right, give her the
huge.
light.
I'm huge in Cabo.
Some guy just lights a tiki torch and just holds it up.
Yeah, it was super fun, and yeah, I loved seeing that moment, and that my parents got to see that moment of Becca, and all of us just support each other. So that was cool. Matt and I also celebrated our 5-year anniversary, which I think last time we
touched on it, but we hadn't given each other the real gifts yet.
So the gift. So Matt got me a necklace. I don't know. It's far away, but he got me a necklace of our cat. That says,
you got to show him. I hope you better not be not showing him.
Well, it's upside down, but
Get it, fix it,
we're gonna have to zoom in.
fix
a
it
lot.
in editing, zoom in. I paid too much damn money for this to not make it on the pod.
And it's stuck.
Oh my God.
It you know.
I'm going to complain to them.
Can't find it.
Yeah, my girlfriend's necklace I just bought her is getting stuck with all her other necklaces.
That's gonna happen. It's cute. It's
so
there.
I'm going to want a discount next time.
We got.
You're not going to show?
I don't know where it is.
Oh my gosh.
It's stuck because I toss and turn at night.
All right. Well, we'll edit this out, but definitely find it.
It's in there somewhere.
Oh my God. Did you lose the necklace?
No, it's there. It's just tangled.
This is so not. Now I know never to say anything about the necklace. Now I know never to like, hey, babe, show
universe
the necklace.
doesn't want you to win.
No, that's just for us.
It's there somewhere.
Oh,
How long did
my
it take you to find the?
Oh, here it is.
piece?
Here it is. It's very small, but it says Gomez, and it's really
Now
cute.
she says it's small, but it's literally the biggest one they had. But
yeah.
okay.
And then I got Matt a PS5 for 5 years together, and
Is that what the 5 was for?
Mm-hmm. Wow, you're just
Dude,
realizing
get
that?
ready for the 6, dog.
No, it only comes every 5 years, so you'll have to wait for the PS10.
So do I.
Yeah, you're gonna get the PS6 in 10 years.
Dude, that is so special. Thank you, babe. I love my PS5.
And so Matt wants to start streaming. So if any of you guys are like streamers or whatever, you're gonna have to follow Matt on his stream. But he's been trying to get it all set up, but there's always some kind of obstacle preventing him from like streaming. Like he had to get this camera, and then it was the wrong camera, and then he had to get another camera, and that camera doesn't work, so we have to get a third camera.
Yep, God's testing me, and if I could get through this, He's gonna make me a star.
When what was his reaction when he saw the PlayStation?
Well, there was a moment where I was like, babe, I'm gonna have to wait for another paycheck to get you this PS5.
But she started saying that, but I was like, you don't mean that. Like, you don't have to.
No, because by the way, that's the best way to build it up. You know, what I
was
mean?
getting ready to text Frank to be like, hey, can you send Rachel some,
I was
like,
gonna ask him on my own, but I think it was like one day after therapy. I was like, all right, fuck it.
No, it wasn't after there. That's funny though. I remember exactly where and when it was. It was the first time we went to One in a Million. We went to the coffee shop. We saw the furry. Then we went to this fucking furry is hanging out at a coffee shop, and it's like I guess I'm furry phobic. I'm gonna say it here. I don't like them.
I'm watching my numbers go down.
Get out of our coffee shops.
I didn't realize you were such in the furry community.
Nah,
I have one furry friend. His name is
yeah,
Adario.
we love Adario.
him. I worked on a TV show with him, and
yeah, he's great, and he's super he broke down the furry thing.
He's
But
not this guy.
I marked this day because it was the same day we saw furry in the wild. But we were leaving this Mexican restaurant, and then you just brought it up. Like, we were in the car.
I
She's
had
like,
2 mimosas, and I was feeling a little loose. And
that's what it was.
generous.
She had mimosas, and then she was like, should we just go to Best Buy and get you a PlayStation 5? And I was like,
Anyways.
What were the words that you said after that? Did you play it cool? Or
don't
were
mind
you
my
like,
boner.
Were you like,
And then, no, I was like, oh, I mean, I'm gonna do everything I can to, like, it wasn't real to me. Like,
Yeah,
I was gonna
you
do
did
everything I can to, like,
everything,
babe, it's
nah,
all right,
nah,
it's all
yeah,
right,
yeah.
that's all right.
Well,
Even
I think
though
we looked at it first, and then we left, and then we
one
went
time
back.
because we had just gone to the Best Buy to look at a projector. And we didn't get anything, but we walked by the PS5 and I was like, can we just look at them? And you're like, fine. So it became real in her own mind because she saw it there. She saw the price, like, ooh, this could happen one day. And like maybe a week later we did that. But the funny thing is I knew that I had her gift ready. So part of me was like, let's get that fucking PS5
well, also because
now.
at that point I had only got him a T-shirt for our 5 years together.
That's so funny.
And the T-shirt is of me. So, and then I knew I had a feeling that he was going to get me what he was going to get me. So I felt bad that he was getting me like a nice piece of jewelry.
This is a perfect time to plug. I'm actually selling online courses on how to convince your significant other to buy you a PlayStation 5.
Right.
So follow me on Instagram.
It starts
Well,
with
it started a month
mimosa.
prior.
Yeah.
Month prior when you were visiting us last
you gotta,
time.
Yeah, you gotta start putting the work in now.
Call this number. It's just your Instagram handle.
It's a 3-month plan.
It should be a 5-month plan, one for each.
Yeah.
For representing the PS5.
Dude, it's been a lot of fun. And now like Frank is staying with us for a few weeks, and like he's playing he's got the port, right?
The PlayStation Portal.
The PlayStation Portal, so it's like a big Game Boy of PS5, and he's just and then I have my PS5, and he's sitting on his bed. I'm at the foot of his bed. We're in like middle school again.
I
It's
literally
so
walk
fun.
into like a slumber party.
It
It
is,
feels
yeah.
like,
It's so good.
and I'm like their mom with like snacks. You know?
Frank, pick up your clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been fun. Matt has a new toy.
And so
a
follow me
friend
on
to-
Twitch. I'm Matt Edgar. Matt has 1 T in it. Follow me on Twitch.
Matt also realized while he was on the road with Tony to La Jolla this weekend that he's probably been missing out on a ton of followers because everyone spells his name wrong.
Oh my God. So many people came up to me after every show and was like, hey, I already looked for you, but I couldn't find you. And it's because I have 1 T in my name, and they all spelled Matt immediately.
You should put 2 T's.
Well, that's not
what
how
I
my
said.
name is.
Change
And so,
your name, dog.
but somebody, maybe you had made a joke like years ago, like that's gonna fuck with you. Like people are gonna look for you and they're not gonna. And it's like, oh my God, how many people have looked for me
Yeah.
and not found me
And
and
they
just
just
gave
give
up?
up. Yeah.
Millions.
I'd be fucking Matt Rife if I weren't Matt Edgar.
Yeah. But Matt's got 2 T's, right?
He does.
See, people think it's like the hard work and all the years of
It's just-
him
we're
working and
all
writing
just a
stuff.
T
Nope,
away.
it's 1 T away,
Yeah.
dog.
Fuck. No, never change, dude. Matt Edgar.
Yeah.
It's jogging with ankle weights, building this following. But you find Matt with 1 T, you're with me, and you'll see. Let's.
I was waiting for one more rhyme. I was like, "Where is it going?"
Anybody want to rhyme? Anybody got a rhyme for T? We, see, me, he, free. The OG.
Yeah, I think you should get your name changed.
Nah, it's too late at this point. Everything's Matt Edgar with 1 T in it. I'm not going to find a Matt Edgar handle with 2 T's. There's definitely like a million Matt Edgars.
Let me see.
Maybe the Matt Edgar.
Ooh,
I don't like that. Too many lame ass people are the whatever.
Yeah.
People that don't, and there are geniuses that are but few and far between. They're mostly like people that I don't like that. I don't like the in front of your handle.
While I was home, I made a viral video. When my parents came to visit, my dad and we walked into some gift shop on I think it's 2nd Street, and there's like all these like painting or art of like famous people. There's like Dolly Parton, Cher, Willie Nelson, and then there's this picture of Dua Lipa. And my dad looks at it and he's like, "Is that you?" And I'm like, "No, Dad, it's this musician, Dua Lipa." And he's like, "It looks like you. I'm gonna buy it." And so he bought it and he hung it up in my bathroom, even though when I posted it, people thought like he hung it up in his bathroom, which I could get why people would think it's weird.
It was his guest
And it
bathroom.
also looks like I'm on the toilet there. So
It does look like you're taking a shit. That is pretty wild.
and so so there's Dua Lipa and I'm Dua Lipa, and it got 1 million.
God, I can't believe that's not you.
I know,
can't
it really
believe
does.
It is also
you.
kind of wild. I think it's because of the cartoon style.
Yeah, but it looks just
I
like
want to
you.
recreate. People are like, you should recreate the photo. So when I'm home next, I think I'm going to try and recreate it. But yeah, it's everyone. Overwhelmingly, the comments are like, "That's you from now on. That's you." But yeah, just for the record, my dad did not hang it up in the bathroom, so he doesn't stare at it when he's taking a shit or showering. It's in my bathroom because he's adorable. And
Because he wants you to look at yourself while you take a shit?
well, it's by the sink actually, so there's no. It's not as weird as everyone thinks it is.
Right.
That would be some shit I would do. Is just a full portrait of myself in front of me while I'm taking a shit.
It really does look like me, but yeah. So that was cool, and I'm pretty. Everyone really likes my dad and thinks he's adorable. So I'm proud about that. And how was going on the road with Tony last weekend?
Oh yeah, me and my old buddy, the Golden Pony, Tony. We went to La Jolla. Went to the La Jolla Comedy Store. When was the last time you were there?
God, last time I was there, I think it was for Roast Battle. And those shows were really, really good. They're starting to get pretty fun. I mean, they're amazing now, but when I was going, it was like starting.
Yeah. Oh, the roast battles.
It was a lot of fun. And then, I mean, it's always great going to La Jolla.
Yeah. No, I hadn't been there since before the pandemic, and Tony brought me, but he also had Benji meet us there. So Benji Aflalo, me, and Tony Hinchcliffe. We do the weekend there. They put us up in the condo, which is an Airbnb. They made it back a condo for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Peter Shore was there, followed us around the whole time, was filming shit, and like the shows were great. They all sold out. Audiences were awesome.
That music is so loud. You're definitely going to be able to hear it.
Really?
I don't know.
You can hear it. Anyways, it was so much fun. Me and Tony, we used to be there. We used to go to that club a lot. And one time, me, Tony, and Benji went there, and we opened for Nick Youssef. And we all stayed in the condo. It was so fun. It was so fun. What? And so we basically like recreated that.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
Frank and I and Matt, we all got to judge Roast Battle at the Mothership last week, which was really cool. Frank and I were on, Frank judged both roast battles. Matt was coming back from La Jolla, so he judged the later.
No, I didn't judge. I just did a spot.
Oh, you did a spot?
You did a spot.
Yeah, Frank and I got to judge, like it was basically a bunch of the Austin comic roasters that that were battling each other, which I love because I know them more than the national battles that are happening. And that was so fun. Frank was a judge. Catherine Blanford was a judge. She was amazing. Alexis Fox, also a judge. And she just keeps getting like better and better judging. And what I love about her is she's a porn star, so she doesn't mind being the butt of the joke. Like she just
or the tits.
Yeah, or anything.
Or
she literally just like handles it so well, and she can just make jokes about herself, and like she just takes it very well, and I just really love that about her.
Yeah, she actually came out to La Jolla too.
Yeah.
Her and Moses just drove down to hang out with us one night.
Nice.
So fun.
That's fun.
Yeah. Saw Lou. Remember Lou?
I fucking love Lou.
Shout out to Lou,
Lou's
dude.
the
He's
best,
still doing
dude.
it, man.
Lou is always like, some big stoner. So going to La Jolla, that was the best part. Like I loved going and seeing Lou.
He still
and
is. He has
getting them
like,
high as
he was showing me
hell.
his new pipe. It's flat.
Yeah.
It's this weird thing you put in your pocket. He takes on the plane with things. Nobody could really tell what it is.
Yeah.
But Lou's the musician. You know him?
I don't know.
So he's like this.
Yes, he's old, right?
Yeah, Vicky Barblack's husband.
Yeah,
He's
yes.
the best.
And he covers like pop songs, but in his like
Piano way.
in his old style.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like almost sounds like a
Vaudeville.
well, kind of, but like who's that Armstrong what's the guy?
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong, that deep voice, like he sings like this, but he's playing like Lady Gaga.
Dude, the Lady Gaga, yeah. I think of that song. His version of that song is burned into my head.
Yeah.
So I remember hearing that song play before you'd have to go up, and it was just
how's
so
it go?
funny. I can't remember it.
What's her song?
It
It's
wasn't
like,
Poker Face.
No, it was.
Was it Poker Face?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Poker Face.
No, it wasn't Poker Face. Fuck, I can't remember which one. I gotta. It was Poker. Caught in a bad romance.
It was so dope, and the whole crowd would get into it.
Yeah, it's the crazy thing is like you'd see the crowd start to like get into it. And you're like, oh, this is wild.
I remember he'd been playing that when it was new.
Yeah.
Another thing that's been happening is I'm still sober from smoking weed. It's been a month and like 10 days, I feel like. Matt's back to the dark side.
That's my fault. I'm sorry.
No, actually, when he was in La Jolla with Tony, they smoked, which is fine. Like I literally don't care if Matt smokes or not. Like I even made this joke. That's the reason why we've lasted so long is because he's getting high.
And putting up with her.
Yeah. But yeah, I still feel really good about not smoking. I've gotten a lot of messages from people like who've been starting their own sobriety. And I have this app that I use. It's called I Am Sober. And then there's this other one called NOMO, which means I'm not like that no mo. At least to me, that's what I feel like. I don't smell like that no mo. And so I just have those two apps that kind of hold me accountable, and like people want to know like some tips or whatever. But for me, the only thing that I could really say if you want to stop smoking weed is you just have to really be ready to be done, because that's half the battle
into your life.
of what?
Let God into your life.
No, not that. That would cause me to smoke more. I feel
You're about
like.
to make a good point, though. It is like half the battle, because the other half is the physical part
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
going through that. But
Well-
that half you're talking about, the one of like not wanting, because you're going to want it.
Yeah.
But I also like enjoy still being around people who smoke. Like I love that Frank, does his dabs around me. Like I don't want people to feel weird, but I guess for me, it's like I just am reminded of how I feel when anytime I'm like, oh, I miss smoking, which is like, I don't really miss it. Like I smelled some of the weed in the
smell,
jar.
You miss all the stuff.
I love the smell of weed. I smelled some really good weed last night, but I just knew, I was like, if I smoke this right now, I'm going to like feel guilt, shame, brain fog. Like I'm not going to be able to enjoy it.
That's how I feel about drinking soda.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just get to a point where you're like, I know this isn't good for me, and I just, and like I need to do the responsible thing and honor that. But
I support you.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone's been really supportive actually, except for a lot of the stoners that follow me, which is really weird. That how judgmental stoners can be. Cause like I put up a video that like I used to smoke weed to avoid, like I have a joke that it's like I used to smoke weed to avoid reality, and now that I'm in reality, I get why I smoked weed. And that one did pretty well. I think it's got like over 100,000 views. But there are people, like I put it on Twitter, and this guy, Stoner Jesus, who's just like, whatever. He like kind of criticized. He's like, I don't smoke weed to avoid reality. It's like, I don't give a fuck what you smoke weed for. Like everyone like smokes weed differently,
right.
And like it's a joke. And then his dumbass wife got involved, and I blocked both of them.
What?
And so
Mary Magdalene?
I literally Mary Jane Magdalene.
Mary Jane Magdalene?
And I like here's the thing, like I've gotten the most negativity I've gotten are from stoners, and it's like, dude, you're just projecting at the miserable life choices that you're making like upon me. It's like, I don't judge that you smoke yourself stupid. That's on you.
Yeah.
But like for me, my relationship with it has changed, and I'm totally okay with that. And like I again, like I don't judge people for still smoking. I recognize the benefits of it, and like I still love weed. It's just not the same to me anymore, and that's okay. It's like I'm convincing myself, but yeah, it's crazy how the most judgmental people have been stoners,
because that's their personality. So when they're taking it personally.
Yeah. Well,
like when it's
whatever.
like what you say, it's like, no, it's my relationship with it. It's all good what your relationship.
Yeah, and it's like the worst people out there are people who can't support someone making a positive life change. Like
Yeah.
how can you criticize someone for getting sober? Like you have no idea what the reasons are behind it.
Right.
I have so many reasons. Like it's my mental health, my physical health, like a lot that I didn't touch on when I went over, you know, in the episode that we did before where we told everyone that I was like quitting weed, is like how bad it was affecting me mentally. Like I don't, you know, like I was having suicidal ideation and obsessive thoughts, and it's like, oh, you just want me to continue to live my life that way so you can feel better about your stupid life. Like now
Right.
I am judgmental.
Well, no, I mean, I don't like the way that they're like, yeah, you don't need to blame weed for that. Like, it's not weed's fault. But it's like, dude, nobody's blaming weed. It's like, it's my brain. It's where my head goes when I'm high.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not the weed, but it's my choice to go to these places.
Yeah. I mean, I if anyone is offended by me, you know, making a positive life change, I get the fuck out for real. I mean, in a nice way. But yeah, honestly, like some tips I guess people have been asking me is, you know, again, you just have to be fully ready to be done with smoking weed. And then to get through the physical part, I say basically find healthy distractions, whether it's a TV show, exercise, you know, doing things you enjoy, like using a reward system. So it's like, you know, for me, it's like getting a manicure or a pedicure, a massage, or like doing something nice for myself as a reward for not using. And then, you know, just be like, I cut cold turkey, which again, I don't really recommend that you do. And some people say like, you know, switching to vaping is like a healthier alternative. But for me, I just didn't want to replace one thing for another. And yeah, exercise has been really helpful. And
Do you feel like not smoking blunts has helped too?
Oh, 100%. Like I don't have the, I'm not always clearing my throat. Like I just would wake up and feel like shit. And a lot of that had to do with the amount of nicotine I was smoking. And I get why people dab. I mean, it's really the healthiest way to like
But
consume,
I mean, I see that with a lot of my
aside from
friends.
edibles.
I see that with a lot of my friends who smoke like blunts a lot, and that's why I always like try to stay away from them, and I always try to just did papers. But like I see some of my friends like, you know, the next morning it's like, you know, you hear me tussle in the morning. I'm like, you know, brush my teeth. Some friends of mine, I'll hear them just like, ah.
No,
I'm like,
that's like, you know,
that's the
obviously
blunts.
a negative side effect. But another thing is I know like when I would consume the nicotine, like the weed and the blunts, like my heart rate would go up. And like if I stood up too fast, I would see stars and like I would say a lot of the negative moments that I've had in weed are because I just was smoking these tobacco leaf papers that are not healthy for you.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I have friends who like smoke a lot of blunts and they're just like, it's so tough. And I'm just like, well, yeah, because you're still at the end of the day smoking nicotine.
Yeah.
Like,
and then, you know, I
tobacco.
have people up in my comments who are like, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you try edible? It's like, dude, stop recommending me what I should try. I told you that I'm done. I plan, you know, for me, it's like, I'm not taking a break. This is something that I'm committed to. And I feel so much better. My comedy's gotten better. You've seen me since quitting
fun.
Frank.
You're also not stressing about
I'm not
things.
too in my head when I'm up there because I'm not worried about remembering my jokes so much. It's more just like, yeah, the main thing is just being able to go up there and have fun. And when I'm high, I'm not having fun because I'm so paranoid or like, you know, focusing on remembering. And I've, you know, written material about it since, which is really cool. And, you know, people think someone made a comment like, I love how you're like not capitalizing off of this sobriety. It's like, I'm not capitalizing off anything. This is just something that I'm going through in my life. And like, I share myself on my pages and whatnot. And it's like, there's just so much projecting going on that I was actually very surprised with the amount of judgment I got from it. But that's what happens when you build a whole following and identity around one thing. People don't like to see that you are changing. People don't like change.
It's good because the ones that'll stick around will stick around.
100%. And then I've had a lot of, as much as I've had, you know, judgmental, there's a ton of people who smoke weed who are extremely supportive of me. People in the green room, they're like, do you want me to go over here? And it's like, no, like smoke, like I like being around. I don't want people to feel weird around me. Like I like that you dab in front of us and you're yourself. Like I didn't want that to happen, you know? So, and you know, I still do a little bit of mushrooms. I'll have like a drink here or there. So I'm not like completely sober. But
Coffee.
I
Still drinking
have
coffee.
But in terms of weed, I am done with weed, and that's where I'm at right now. So yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like as the person who's next to you the most, you're way more present, way more there, and way chiller. Like you, like the anxiety, like you like deal with it better.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is a lot of people think that weed is just an answer for everything. And I guess I used to be that kind of I was like Seth Rogen when he like in Knocked Up, when he's like, he broke his elbow, but he just smoked weed about it or whatever. And it's like, no, that's not how that works medically. Like you have to go see a doctor. But I can, as someone, speaking for myself, like my life has immensely changed for the positive since I have stopped smoking weed.
Yeah.
So.
And you're sleeping better.
Oh my God, I'm sleeping so much better. My
What are
eating
your dreams
is better.
like?
My dreams are insane. I have nightmares every night. I won't lie about that. I have night terrors every single night because I was suppressing my dreams for like 20 years. But again, that's not enough to make me want to go back to smoking weed. Like I get why from the withdrawal and like, you know, the nightmares, why people would be like, fuck this, I can't handle this. But it's still not worth like breaking my sobriety for that.
You wake up in middle school, you're like, fuck.
I literally, yeah. I'm always being chased by something or like aliens or I'm under attack. It's like, you know, just another day in the life.
Am I there a lot?
You're in some of them. Yeah. You're there. Yeah.
You're in my dreams.
Am I running from stuff with you? Am I trying to protect you?
Are you trying to keep up?
No, you're like, there was one dream where you turned on me. You told me you were never going to like turn on me. And the next thing I know, you go into the other room.
Oh my
and
God.
You like
woke
turned
me up
on
about
me.
that.
Yeah. Well, Matt has seen me like go through my nightmares. Cause like I woke up screaming, you said, or yelling.
Yeah. And I grabbed her and she was like drenched.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like when I was smoking all those years, like I never really felt like I was getting quality sleep because you don't go into like a full REM cycle or whatever.
So I have night terrors. I'll wake up and I'll run to the corner of the room freaking out. And Hannah's had to get used to it. Now she knows to she'll like come back to bed. It's just a bad dream. Blah, blah, blah. And I'll like, huh? And then I'll like lay down. And I'll just be completely out of breath. Like my heart will be pounding. I'll be like, like totally like hyperventilating because I just have crazy, like just a night terrors, right? And the funny thing about it is I sleep naked. So I'm completely naked the whole time this is happening. So in the middle of the night, Hannah will just wake up and see me running full sprint to the corner of the room, ass naked. And then I'm just like, and then she's like, come back to bed. And I'm just like, oh, all right. And then I like go back to bed.
So there's a possibility that you could go outside like this.
Not with
Well,
the
yeah,
ice
like
sleep,
if the fire alarm goes off, he's gonna have to decide between putting on shorts or saving his cats. He's gonna save
when
his
I
cats.
stay with you guys, I sleep in shorts and underwear and like a t-shirt. Like I have pajamas, you know, but like
Frank's just sleeping nude.
with the blinds all the way up.
I have accidentally changed with the blinds all the way up and I'm like, oh shit. And I look down, there's just a family and I'm like, oh, this is my
to
butthole.
cover the kid's face. Yeah.
Well, I guess we can move on to our triggers.
You want to do it?
Well, unless you have anything else to say on that.
Proud of you, babe.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you too.
Thanks.
And now what I'm annoyed about.
Yeah. Well, okay. You want to go first?
Wait, you want to try guessing each other's triggers?
What did I do?
I don't know. I can't have a good guess for you.
Ooh, can I call Hannah and ask her what one of my what her triggers are?
Yeah.
Is she
But no,
gonna pick
you
up?
guys go. I'm gonna text her.
All right.
I'm trying to think of what this week because I stopped putting trash in the sink.
No, you didn't.
Oh, really?
There's a paper towel in the sink.
I didn't do that.
Oh.
A paper
Frank?
towel? No. Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
So you're saying Frank did it?
No, it just wasn't me. We've had several people over.
Okay. But that's not my trigger.
Uh-huh.
That's not my trigger. Do you want me to tell you my trigger?
Sure.
My trigger is
When I wake you up to feed Gomez. I knew
she
it.
knows it. That's salt on the wound. Like the fact that you know and you're like, content. I'm
You want to
literally
guess what mine is?
Well, no, I want to pontificate. I'll be dead asleep like we all do at night, right? Sleeping for my rest so I could have energy the next day. And sometimes it's harder to sleep.
Can you please
and so
explain
while
us
I'm
sleep
sleeping,
more?
it's a good thing, right? Well, Rachel every night will wake me up to feed Gomez.
Not every night.
Most nights.
So
the only time it doesn't
I'm
happen.
staying here still for 2 more weeks, and I don't want to get involved or split hairs, but I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to try to be partial.
Okay.
All right. So what's Gomez's feeding schedule? What time is it?
He's gonna want to eat around like
6 in the morning.
6 in the
as
morning.
the sun's coming up, right before the sun comes
So
up.
that's 7 days in a week,
yeah,
7 mornings.
right.
What's the split on who wakes up?
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes, a lot of time, we'll go to sleep together, and then Matt will usually move to your room because it gets hot, right? So Gomez will go in the room with Matt and be cuddling with him. So I'm in the room alone, and it pisses me off that Gomez doesn't wake up Matt.
He'll get out.
He'll walk all
literally
the way over to my room, is not showing me any kind of love, and he'll just pat
swat
me.
in her face.
And I'm like, you
He'll
don't
come-
even cuddle me.
He'll come from my arms, wake up, and run into the other room, wake up Rachel to feed him. And so I get it. That's rude, but that has nothing to do with me. How's that my fault?
Because I think it is he's trying to wake you up, but you refuse to.
No. No, I
I'm
wake up every time he swats my face.
we would need video evidence of the cat trying to wake
Thank
you
you.
up. Because
You're
if the
approaching
cat
this-
wakes up and just leaves and goes straight to Rachel, that's a little tough. Only because I do get your side where it's like, yeah, you're like, I don't know. The cat didn't wake me up.
Well,
Then
here's
the cat
the thing.
goes and wakes
Okay,
you
so
up.
if that happens on a night where I'm in that room and she'll literally yell, Matt, get up and feed Gomez. I'm like, you're obviously awake in there. So you woke me up.
He woke me up, and I woke you up.
Well, either way. So what also happens when I actually do stay the entire night in the same bed, she'll wake me up and tell me to go feed Gomez.
Yeah.
So I'm right there asleep. She'll
So what
wake
if there's
me
a
up.
schedule that could be made?
Well, that's the thing is we've been trying to feed him when we get home really late, but sometimes we're just home that's why I try to feed him at
No, what if you're like,
midnight
you
or
take
1.
Mondays, you take Tuesdays?
No, it's not going to be like
because
that.
but I'm not gonna remember what day it is when he's waking me up. It's all one giant day. If you
Yeah,
think it's like
life is just one day.
so, we'll just deal with
Continue
it for
to-
now.
Oh no,
and-
we deal with it. I wake up, and the other day it was like I couldn't go back to sleep, and I was mad at Rachel.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
Yeah, how could I forget?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to call Hannah. That's so fucking
Yeah,
funny.
can you ask her? Well, then we'll move on to my trigger after.
Is she picking up?
Yeah, she's going to pick up.
Okay.
Put her
And
on
you
the
can cut
speaker.
this out if...
No, you can
Okay, cool.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
nothing much.
tell
What's
her we're
going
recording. a
We're
podcast.
on a podcast with Matt and Wolfie.
Okay.
They were talking about triggers, and they wanted to know, what is something about me that triggers you?
Well, okay. I would say it triggers me when you come home and just everything on your person explodes everywhere.
When I do come home, I'll just put everything down, and then I'm just like,
It's like you die in a video game, and all your stuff just drops right there.
yes, that's exactly
It's
what
like
it
if
is.
Frank got murdered, but all that was left was his Puffco purse
Yeah.
and
My
shoes.
inventory.
Or
Like if you died like Obi-Wan and you just
Yeah.
go invisible and all like your clothes just drop.
Oh my god! All right, you got one more. Anything else?
Okay. I mean, it doesn't
Oh.
bother me. I think it's funny.
What about the bathroom thing?
Oh, when you never change the toilet paper roll?
Not
oh
that. There's
my
another
God.
thing. How many times have I clogged the toilet?
Oh my god, all the time.
Oh, that's
All the
funny.
time.
Well, luckily he hasn't done that once since he's been here. Have you?
No.
Oh, okay.
We got to get a toilet.
Well, you've hit a really lucky streak then.
All
There's
right,
a streak, all
A
right.
streak is what, yeah, we're going to call
All right,
it.
I love you, babe.
I love you
Bye,
too.
Hannah.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Those are
I
good
love you
triggers.
guys together. That's so funny.
Those are good triggers.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's what we're talking about. It's this stuff like, ugh.
Well, I feel like mine's like a dumb trigger.
Here we go. They're all kind of dumb, but
So like, Matt has we both have separate laundry baskets, but Matt's laundry basket is in Frank's room, and like Frank had his door closed, so he didn't have access to his laundry basket. So he starts putting his dirty clothes in my dirty clothes, and like that, it just like triggered me because
Mm-hmm.
it's like I want our clothes separate. Like I don't want
That's
your
so funny.
underwear touching my underwear. Like I because it's just when we do laundry, it's just extra for me.
That was when you were like, oh, just grab your laundry and touch it. I was like, that's fine. I was like, I felt so weird about you touching my underwear because I was like, I don't want you to touch my underwear.
I
you
don't
have to. Yeah.
That's
and I was
fine.
like, I feel so weird. I don't want you to touch my underwear.
No, because it's clean.
Oh,
It's
that's
clean.
a good point.
There's the principle.
That is a good point, actually. I didn't think of it that way.
No, I don't care about that. It's like when his stuff's like dirty and I'm like, it's a boundary thing for me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a bounty thing.
That's a paper towel.
Yeah, I know.
Matt's all
I know people are
brawny
gonna be
about
like,
it.
people are
Sorry.
gonna judge me for that one, but it's like my clothes are here. This is mine, and like
Okay.
you have a laundry basket.
And you know what? My thing with that is fine, but your shit winds up in my laundry all the time.
Not
I never
on
complain.
purpose. Not on purpose.
And
But the only reason, because
you know
then
what?
your
We
stuff
might
gets put away with mine.
it was the way she was like addressing it that was just like, it was so just like a woman, like, okay, you could do this, you could use your laundry. And it was like, talk to me like a fucking, she's like, no, you could,
Please.
she could not. She
It's
could
because
not,
I asked him
she
more,
had this
more
voice.
than once.
It was like mom
because
voice.
I've asked you more than one time.
There it is.
I ask you once nicely, and if it keeps happening, that's when I turn on the voice.
And by the way, when Hannah turns the voice on, I'm into it. No, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is why I throw it over the corner. Yell at me. No.
Yeah, I think I'm into it too.
You guys have mommy issues.
Yes, we do.
I
I'm
can't.
gonna take him out on you.
That's why, Orion Levine,
Yeah.
he has one of my fucking favorite jokes about accidentally calling his girlfriend mommy. And he goes, I don't know if I'm butchering, but he goes, he's like, I actually called my girlfriend mommy the other day. I felt like such an idiot. So terrible. But thankfully, she just moved right past it. She just finished tucking me in. It was
Giving you a kiss on the forehead.
like a good boy. Dude, he made me laugh so hard.
Shall we get to DM of the week since there's a party going on out there and
Yeah, we should.
I feel like I'm interrupting them.
Yeah. So. You
Okay,
got
so
it?
basically my DM of the week comes from I posted a picture about my dad hanging the Jackass poster in the hallway because he likes to hang photos of me clearly. And someone commented, tell your dad I've edged to that photo 471 times. And it's by a guy named Mr. Presentable who's in a picture with his children.
Well, I don't see what the problem is. I've edged to that photo probably around those numbers. I've also came to it a few times.
You guys, I can't. I'm
Yeah,
upset.
he's just a person, Mr. Presentable.
So he's almost not come to your photo 471 times?
The comments just tear him apart.
No, that's what
anyways.
gets him going, you know? Like, that's like he uses that and then probably has sex with his wife.
It's also like, how disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to gross you out, but
Just
like
come.
finish. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
finish.
dude, who
That
are you
is
holding
true.
out for?
What's the meanest DM you've ever
the
gotten?
meanest DM I ever gotten?
That's kind of like trying to roast you.
I
feel
mean,
like.
there's like nothing anyone's ever said is really ever like, I mean, except my cousin when when I post stuff and he's just like, oh, you're doing that same joke again. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. And that's why I love my cousin. My cousin always keeps me honest, where he'll always be like, oh, still doing that bit. That's cool. And I'm like, because I got him into comedy, so now he's even more into comedy. So now he's like aware of like the turnover and how long people write and stuff. And
Right.
he's just like, oh, it's cool. I see you still doing that one bit though. And I'm like, you fucking
Jesus.
asshole.
Well, here's the thing. I feel some type of way about that because, like, I've only been doing comedy for 8 years. I haven't even hit my 10-year mark, and I just think there's some jokes that just you can work on for a long time.
Different. Yeah.
And it's like, musicians, they never get shit for, oh, you're playing the same. You know what I mean?
People like that,
it.
absolutely.
And there's always going to be people who've never heard
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
It'll be like for the first time.
But he knows me so well that like he knows that's like one of my fucking things.
Yeah.
Where like that'll get me where it's like you haven't written anything new. Like even though if it's like a joke that crushes and does well and it's newer than anything I've written, I'm still like he's
just keeping you on your
yeah,
toes.
he keeps me on my toes. But I think meanest thing from a stranger, that's the other thing is like there's not a lot of crazy mean things a stranger can say to me.
They dare to say anything to you because you're just going to
roast them back. But also too, here's the biggest thing. I don't believe them.
Right.
And that's the biggest, like, when, like, so another comic goes, you're not funny. It's like, well, I don't believe
Yeah,
you.
I mean, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if someone that was bigger than me said it, I might believe. But even then, it's also like, whatever.
No.
But, like,
It's like they're
maybe
wrong. They
I'm
don't
not
see
your
the whole
type.
thing. I always say it's like if
my mom said meaner things to me. You know,
Yeah.
like
people who don't think that you're good they don't see everything you do.
I also love your joke about telling your mom you want to go to therapy. That's
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite jokes of yours.
But that's the other thing. It's also too. It's like I came from such a poor upbringing that like this is making it. Like just the fact that like just living comfortably, like being able to pay my rent and all that. That is like I've made it. So like whenever someone's like, "You're not funny," I'm like,
married
"Dog."
to a white woman.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm doing better
Yeah.
than I've ever thought I was be doing. So
It's like jewelry.
yeah, yeah. I was like, it's like
There was a guy that came up to me in Brooklyn in 2012. I was on tour opening for this band, and then we had a few off nights, so I stayed in New York City for like a week. And I went to Brooklyn to open for another band, like a friend's band, and I just tanked. Like it was just everybody was standing there, everybody was there for the band. There's no sitting. I was high off my ass, and it was just like very bad. And I got off, and this guy came up to me after, and he's like, "You are the worst comedian I have ever seen in my entire life." And I was like, okay. And then he's like, no. You need to understand that you are the worst. Are you looking at me? You listening? You're the worst. And his girl was like, hey, come on, stop. No, babe. He needs to know.
I love that.
And then shout out to my girl Steph Simbari, who was there, and she watches, and she came right up to this guy. I was like, hey, fuck you. Why don't you listen to your wife? Like she called him on this shit. Yeah,
That's
it was
fucking
bad.
funny.
My favorite also is like a not insult but backhanded compliment is two things. It's when you get off stage and someone was like, "It looks like you're having fun, like having a lot of fun up there." Like not telling you did good, but that you were having fun, like regardless of what was going on. Or like when someone's like, I can tell you're a good writer.
No,
That's worse,
One
though.
of my favorites that I've gotten that really fucking hurt now that I think about it is it was like after a set I got off and this guy just looks at me and he goes, "Hey man, it's cool, dog." He's like, "It's all right, man.
Yeah.
I liked it."
Yeah,
and I fucking
I
throw in there
liked
like,
it.
"I liked it." I was like, "Oh man."
Or when people are like, comedy is one of the hardest things you could ever do.
You're like, "Oh shit."
I don't know how you do it.
One of my favorite, that's just such a fucking fun interaction when you're just like, "Oh, all right, at least you get it."
I'd rather
Yeah.
you not say anything at all than try to like, you know.
Commiserate.
There was a
Someone's like, "Hey, I just want to make sure you're not gonna kill yourself
Yeah.
tonight." You're like, "Thanks for telling me," but
one of the coolest things that ever happened to me was I was in this snowy Traverse City, Michigan for a comedy festival. It was Michael Moore, the filmmaker, threw a
Yeah.
comedy festival, and he interviewed Fred Willard.
Oh, I love Fred.
Me too. Icon. And I was doing the show. I was opening up for Michael Ian Black on the show after that. So I got there early to watch Fred Willard be interviewed. And they were talking about how when they watch a friend's performance and they don't like it, Michael's like, I hate lying. I have to lie and tell my friends. And Fred was like, oh, I just don't say anything. He's like, I just saw Tom Hanks do a play and he did bad. And I saw him after, and I just didn't say anything. I just like, oh, okay, see you later. Like, don't even
That's
address
hilarious.
it. So like he said, and I thought he was hilarious about it. He's Fred Willard, you know. And then I leave the auditorium to go to the green room, and the show ends, and I'm walking the hallway, and I open the door, and it's just Fred Willard comes out, and it's just me and him in the hallway, and he was like, I saw you do stand up the other night. You're great. And I was like, whoa, he wouldn't say that if it wasn't.
Yeah, you're like, that's great. Oh man,
I
that's so
love that.
fucking great. Yeah.
Well, I think we should call it a pod.
We'll call it a pod.
Pod it out.
Frank, tell people where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Frank Castillo on Instagram. I got a podcast coming out. I'll be announcing that pretty soon. To Be Frank. And then, catch me at the Mothership in the Comedy Store and all across town, blah, blah, blah. Love you guys.
Yep, I am Matt Edgar. Matt has one motherfucking T, dude. Matt Edgar. Matt like yoga.
I bet when they
Mateo.
follow like the other Matt Edgar, they're really disappointed.
Yeah, this guy doesn't post like anything funny. Matt Edgar. And follow me on Twitch, guys. Matt Edgar. I'm on Twitch. And fuck yeah, go there. I need followers, and I'll be streaming Alien Isolation all the way through, run through the whole game, and then the DLCs after that. But it's going to be fun. I love riffing when I play that game, and we're going to have some laughs.
And you can follow me here or at Rachel Wolfson or at Wolfie Comedy. And
Your YouTube.
Oh, my YouTube is, I don't remember what it is, but I'm on YouTube, and the link is.
We'll show the link.
It's Rachel Wolfson
42069. Classic.
Hell yeah. That's where I be. Thanks for listening, you guys. See you next time. Oh, wait. Next time, I'll answer the questions that people submitted because so we'll do that next time.
Great.